Hi everybody, we're back with our Valentine's Zen Doodle, part 2. Last time we were together, we talked about Zen Doodle or Zen Tangle and how great it is for your mind. It makes you very relaxed if you let it happen. It has some really great properties. How people use this in physical therapy. People who have had strokes learn how to redraw again by creating doodles. It helps a lot with stress. If you ever get stressed out, this works for some people. You can kind of just sit in a little corner and do a little doodling. Doodling is great. Some teachers say that doodling is not so good for you, but doodling is actually really, really good for your mind. And as you're doodling and listening to someone talk, you're retaining 30% more information that they say. We can talk more about that later. What I showed you last time was this spiral technique. This is the one that I have chosen to do for my Zen Tangle, but there's also this circle technique, which you might be choosing to do. And that's when we take a series of circles. I had some yogurt cups handy and I just traced a bunch of circles and we make some different patterns inside there. Or you could just do random lines. Random lines, these are called strings, cutting across through the paper and making patterns inside each one of them. I also mentioned that scribbling is not doodling, so please do not scribble in your art. So let's continue. I'm working on this one, but you guys have yours and it probably looks very, very different. Don't forget there are the Zen Doodle worksheets that are inside Schoology. If you want to look at those at any time to get some ideas for patterns, you may. It is up to you. There are thousands of millions of patterns out there. This is just a few ideas for you. If you don't like any of them, don't use them. Use your own ideas. So let's break it down a little bit more, how to create a doodle. You can start doodling if you want to and just listen to my voice as I'm telling you how to do this. What you want to do first is take one tiny space. We have a tiny space here. And then we're just going to start with one line at a time. We're going to go ahead and make one line at a time. So I'm going to make mine maybe a little bit curvy. All right, so I've done that, but it's not really detailed enough. Zen tangles have a lot of detail in them. So what I need to do next is fill in the spaces that I made with something else. And I'm going to make them even more detailed. So maybe I will put some little dotted lines on each side of one of them to make it look like there's some stitches. Or just some dashed lines or some dots. So we filled it with something. Now we're filling it up again. And then, you guessed it, after I'm done with this, we're gonna go ahead and fill it up again. It's just a matter of adding lots and lots of detail to one section at a time. I'm not even thinking about these right now. I'm just concentrating on this one little section. I'm having fun. So next thing I'm gonna do, again, since it's Valentine's, I'm gonna go ahead and make, ooh, these don't really look like hearts, do they? Here we go. I'm gonna do that M and a V, M and a V. I think my Sharpie might be a little too thick. Let's try it again. M, V, that's a little better. So now I'm filling it up again with something. So the key is to just fill it up until it's full and it's beautiful. With pattern. Pattern is something that repeats itself. Ooh, I'm not sure if I'm loving this pattern. I picked a hard one. It's coming okay. I'm gonna keep on going with my little tiny hearts. Okay, whew, that was a struggle. Some of the patterns you choose, you might not love, but stick with it. Keep on going. All right, next section, I'll go ahead and do this one. Perhaps, I have a lot of curves over here. Maybe I'll start with something geometric and very angular. So I'll do a series of triangles, maybe? So again, I'm taking my space and I'm filling it up with stuff. Stuff meaning patterns, right? I'm filling it up with a pattern. And now that I'm done filling it up with a pattern, I'm gonna go inside there and fill it up with more pattern. So, I'm gonna go ahead and just put some more triangles in here. And once I get this done, I do think I'm gonna have a lot of white space there. So what can I do? I could color in all that white space black. That could work. I don't know if I want to do that with a Sharpie though, because this fine point, I'm gonna take it'll be there for a while. So let me see, I don't know if I don't have a chisel tip nearby. So, you know what I'm gonna do? I'll make it a little easier for myself. Make some more triangles, and then I'll color in the background. I'm gonna run and get a chisel tip. If you have something that you need to grab to make it easier for you, do it. Okay, a Crayola marker or a chisel tip would have worked fine for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and color in the area behind my triangles. This is going to give me a lot of weight. It's going to make this little section look pretty heavy. Meaning, ooh, this isn't really working that great. Meaning it's going to have a lot of darkness, which is good because my other areas have a lot of lightness, so that's creating contrast. Contrast simply means a difference. Contrast means something is different from something else. There's something crunchy under my paper here that I'm finding some weird texture on. Do you ever find that happening to you? If you're working on a table and there's some crumbs of something and you can feel it under your paper. I have a feeling it's glitter under here. Good thing I have this big Sharpie because this has taken me a while. So I'm gonna stop this so you don't have to sit here and watch me color. Well, actually, maybe I'll keep going. And I'll think about one more section to do. And then we're gonna take a break. And we'll finish this up next class. We have a lot going on in this picture. We have a lot of time put into it, a lot of detail put into it. Don't rush. You don't want to have to start over at this point. I know that some people, sometimes when they're almost done with a drawing, they make a quote-unquote mistake. It might not really be a mistake, but they make a mistake that they don't like, and then they crumble up their paper and try to start the whole thing again, and oh, it just breaks my heart. Where you could totally fix any kind of mistake in art. Art is different than brain surgery, right? If you make a mistake, it's okay if you're doing art. All right, home stretch for this little section. My wrist is hurting a little bit. I'm pushing down, trying to get this not so great marker to work. All right, not too bad. That's definitely pulling my eye to it. Doesn't it make you want to look at that section first? All right, so next, let's see. Let's go ahead and do one more. Here's a fun one that I usually like to do. I make little circles with a dot around it, but they're all connected with little lines, and I call this one connected Google eyes, or googly eyes. So I'll make a bunch of these little eyes, and then I will make some lines sort of going and connecting. And again, it's a lot of fun to create your own patterns. Have fun with it. We are not in a race here, so please don't rush. What can you come up with that's an interesting pattern? totally, thoroughly immersed in this right now. Trying to think, okay, there's a little bit of planning involved, right? So I'm kind of planning where things go, but at the same time, I'm just sort of put my robot arm on. My arm is just kind of drawing. It's just happening. These plans are just emerging. I don't have a plan for the rest of these. They're just kind of, I'm thinking of them as they happen. I'm making it up as I go along, and it's a super creative process. Okay, maybe I'll do one more. Let's do one more together, and then we will say goodbye for now until next time. What can I do? What can I do? Here's one. Let's do bubbles. Circle, little circle. I'm just gonna make a bunch of circles here. These are gonna be bubbles. But I need more bubbles than this. I'm gonna fill in the whole section with bubbles using a little bit of overlapping so it makes it look like here's this little bubble, but here's one behind it, but you can't really see it because this one is covering it. So I'm using the overlapping technique for this pattern. So cool, isn't it? Starting to come together, look interesting. I'm just having fun. I'm not really super concerned if it's gonna look good or not when I'm done with it. I'm just filling in spaces. Thinking of it as a challenge almost. Can I fill in all these spaces? Yes, I can. Making sure to keep them somewhat circular too. I feel like I'm making some ovally shapes. All right, I think I'm gonna be done for now. I'm gonna see you next time and we're gonna finish this up. I will see you all later for the last part of the Valentine's Zen Doodle. See you later.